Chadwick, how are you after last night's premiere?
I'm doing great.
Doing well. Congratulations on the film. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Just want to start off by asking you, what was it like when you first got that phone call and you was offered the role? At that point, did you understand how important the film was going to be for black culture and for little young kids who can look up to the screen and be like, oh, there's someone that represents me on an action film?
Oh, yeah. I understood the potential because even before I got the call, this was, Black Panther was something that I had dreamed about. You know what I'm saying? It was something that, as an actor and a filmmaker, you have ideas that you're like, okay, I want to do this one day. You write certain ideas about projects that you think would be amazing. And I always knew that Black Panther had the potential to pull from our culture in this way and be significant. And I had no idea whether or not Marvel would commit to it in that way. There's no track record for any studio doing what we've done.
Yeah, so there was a level of authenticity in the film. It kind of resonated with a lot of people who understand Africa and what goes on in Africa, and it kind of reflected a reality that's actually happening now. So for me, there was an underlying tone. For me, that how Africa has a lot of the natural resources and it's exploited by a lot of different nations. For you, you're labelled as an African American. Did this give you a chance to kind of reconnect to your roots, or is that something that you've always been interested in?
It's something I've always been interested in, but as an African American, you're always trying to find a way in. You're always trying to find ways to do it. What you see from Killmonger's character with his demarcations and his ideology, all of it is grasping for a truth that you've been disconnected from. Prior to getting the role, I found a thing called African Ancestry. It's not Ancestry.com, but AfricanAncestry.com, and they're the only DNA test that has cultures for the actual ethnic groups in Africa. So if you take that DNA test, you can find out, for me, I found that at that point that I was Limba from Sierra Leone. In doing this movie, I took it further. I went up the branch of my tree and got other people in my family to take tests and found, that I was Yoruba from Nigeria, that I was Jola from Guinea-Bissau, and that I was also Mende from Sierra Leone. And so I feel like it gave me an opportunity to do things that I always wanted to do.
Yeah. See, answering that is very important. It comes off that it's very important to you that you understand the roots and that part was an integral part of the role that you played. For me, the accent was very well. I grew up with a lot of Africans. I think they'd be very impressed. What was the process for you doing, learning the accent and getting it perfect? Because I know it was probably very important to you in the authenticity of the character that you was portraying.
The most important part for me from the beginning was to find a sound because this is fantasy, and because Wakanda's not a real place, and because I was the first person to introduce the accent that we're all using. I knew that I had to find something that worked for a lead role that I could carry through. And so for me, there are different ways to play a protagonist and a hero. With this, I felt like he had to speak softly and carry a big stick. So I wanted to find, and I needed there to be a sort of melodic softness that he could change into power. Yeah. And so I just listened to different accents from all over the globe and enjoyed that process and broke it down into a few different choices. I found a dialect coach. I actually talked to a few of them from the continent. And because I didn't want, somebody that was American or British and, didn't really have roots there, and they would actually be calling somebody in Africa to get to confirm. So I wanted to go to the source. So I found a dude named Andile Nebulan in South Africa. And we worked on Message from the King together first to sort of prepare for Black Panther. It was like It was like the local comedy club that you do before you do your HBO special. And so we worked on that, and then we settled on South African Xhosa, and you know, moving forward, John Connie was also from South Africa, also spoke that dialect. It just happened to be that they cast him into the movie, and you know, it was some events that led us to using that, to pushing it further in the movie. And I think for me, it was a thing of walking around doing it all the time, not just doing it when you get on set, not just doing with the lines that they give you, but literally my friends and family had to hear me speak that way. My agent had to hear me speak that way. If I went to the gas station, you know, people would think that that's who I was, you know, so, you know, be like, oh, like, where are you from? Like, what? So you have to have that experience, I think, in order to believe it yourself, to forget. And I would go home at night and only stop talking that way when I got tired, when my body would release it. I couldn't let go of it. So, you know, whether or not people feel like it's right or not, it's my way of connecting to my roots and to the continent.